The first knot that we're going to teach you is called a bowline knot. For the bowline, take the bitter end. You're going to make a loop around the front of the bitter end, which basically is like a rabbit hole. And then a rabbit comes up around the tree and back through the hole. So let's do that one more time. Again, you take your bitter end, you make a loop around the front of the bitter end, which is your rabbit hole in front of a tree. The rabbit comes up through the hole, goes around the tree, and back through the hole. Again, this is called the bowline knot. Now, when you tighten this, grab the loop and the bitter end that you ran through, hold on to that, and then pull on the string. You want to make sure that when you're doing this knot, you have enough line to where you're going to have the proper size loop that you're trying to acquire when you make the bowline knot. The next knot that you're going to work on is called a clove hitch. The clove hitch, basically what you're doing is you're securing either two lines together, or as you can see in this picture, they're just like using a pipe. So you can use this to secure a line onto any type of apparatus as such. We use it in demolitions. That would be the trunk line. The horizontal line that you see would be a trunk line for explosives, and the clove hitch would be used to tie your explosive, like say for example a haversack, into the trunk line for when you're doing water shots, for example. So when you're doing the clove hitch, basically you're going to take your line, you're going to wrap it around once. You're basically crisscrossing. So again, as you can see, you take the line, lay it over the other one, wrap it back around over the top, and then loop it under and then back through itself. As you can see, it makes it look like a crisscross. Our next knot is called a square knot. A lot of people end up making a granny knot on this one. If you take the red line and red-white line and you hold on to both of the two lines and you push them back and forth, the two loops will slide. And that's how you know that you have basically a square knot. So with a square knot, when you're tying it, you take two bitter ends. For example, you go left over right and then right over left. But basically, this is what you're going to end up having it look like. If you do it wrong, you're going to end up with a granny knot, which looks like the following. So here's the granny knot. If you want to end up doing a lot of push-ups during training, all you got to do is screw up a square knot and make it look like a granny knot. Here's basically how you tie a granny knot. It's kind of the opposite of the square knot. In other words, if you took those bitter ends, the two bitter ends on each side, and you tried to push them back and forth, the loops wouldn't slide properly. And you can see that, like on the purple line, it goes over and then comes back under. So you don't have that perfect loop like you do on a square knot. So make sure you're not doing this knot, unless, like I said, you really want to do a lot of push-ups. The last knot I'm going to show you today is called a sheet bend. On this particular knot, you're going to use two lines. You make a loop with the first line, and with the second line, you bring it up through the loop, around the back of the loop, and then tuck it back through itself and pull it tight. This is one way to attach two lines together. So practice these knots, and as you're practicing them and you get better at them, start basically closing your eyes and doing them blindfolded. Then on the surface, sitting on your couch, shut your eyes, hold your breath, and tie the knot. Because when you get to training, you're going to have to do it underwater. Do not practice these underwater. But if you sit there and shut your eyes and you hold your breath sitting in a chair, and if you got weak lungs and you pass out, at least you're going to fall back in the chair. You're not going to fall and kill yourself. Don't do it while you're driving or skydiving or anything like that. So be safe, but learn your knots. Follow us on the website at www.specwarfitness.com. Also, Specwarf Fitness is also used for my Instagram, and I also use it for YouTube videos. So again, you can go to my Instagram, my YouTube videos on Specwarf Fitness, And I'm also starting a Facebook page for Spec War Fitness. So hope you enjoyed the video. Stand by for some more.